Mayan secrets. There's a new theory of civilization's obliteration revealed. The history of the Mayan civilization attracting many controversial conspiracy theories, drawing millions of enthusiasts. Researchers from an international team of scientists, along with Dario Pedrazzi, a researcher at Geosciences Barcelona, and Victoria Smith, associate professor from Oxford University, head of the Tephrochronology Group, have reportedly pinned down the date a devastating volcano eruption killed every living being in a 40-kilometer radius. The event purportedly occurred 1,590 years ago in 431 AD, a volcanic eruption. According to the common theory, the Ilopango volcano in what is now El Salvador suffered a huge eruption during the early classical Mayan era, the period between 300 and 600 AD. But more accurate data about the nature of the eruption was only discovered during recent research. The evaluation to date accurately, scientists used 3D modeling to study the eruption plume that rose 28 miles into the upper atmosphere. They studied an ice core from Greenland and implemented radiocarbon measurements from a charred tree found in the cc.jpg ash deposits. Dario Pedrazzi said, this work follows previous studies that were published in 2019 and in which we described, thanks to an extensive analysis of the ash deposits in El Salvador, the main physical parameters of this violent eruption that reached its climax with a series of pyroclastic flows that linked a caldera collapse. A great part of this research has been possible thanks to all the data acquired during the 3 field campaigns carried out in El Salvador, during which we conducted a detailed mapping of the ash deposits present in an area of 200,000 square kilometers, he said. With more than 770,000 square miles of Central America covered in white ash from that eruption named Tierra Blanca Joven, the TBJ eruption, Spanish for young white earth, Tierra Blanca Joven. The volume of its pyroclastic flow was 10 times that of Mount Vesuvius when it buried Pompeii, that could have reached 1,830 degrees Fahrenheit. Victoria Smith says more than 2 million square kilometers of Central America was covered with at least a half centimeter of ash, and it would have been dark over this region for at least a week. The Ilopango caldera is a part of the El Salvador volcanic arc that includes a total of 21 active volcanoes, being one of the most active segments of Central American volcanic arc. It's situated less than 10 kilometers from the city of San Salvador. So this was the Ilopango caldera. 21 volcanoes, active volcanoes in that area. You can imagine it was like a super eruption. This is the lake of Ilopango, the super eruption that took place about 1,500 years ago, and that accumulated the ash that we're going to see now. The ash deposit was huge. This is it right here. That's a section of it. Lake Ilopango super eruption, an area of 21 volcanoes in San Salvador of Central America. Obviously, as you can understand, all this covering up any civilization in the area, that would have been the end of it. And this is what the paleontologists, the geologists, archaeologists believe was the end of the Mayan civilization. This was the cause of it. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.